Hey, I'm here in the Monterey Pass. I'm actually on the Monterey Pass battlefield here in the parking lot of one of the pull-offs. And this is a battle that is fought July 4th to July 5th, 1863, after the Battle of Gettysburg. This is part of Robert E. Lee's retreat, his army's retreat back toward the Potomac and back toward Virginia. On July 4th of 1863, in the evening hours, Confederates will be moving through this pass. Their wagon train, which is carrying livestock, the wounded, other baggage, ammunition, whatever they've got left, they're trying to move it through this pass as quickly as possible to get down to the Potomac River and cross the Potomac into Virginia to safety. Union cavalry will be pursuing them. And during that night, as the Union cavalry is coming down the road, they will come across a young lady, a 12-year-old, named Hetty Zellinger. She's walking back to her home here in the pass, and she will warn the Union soldiers that there's Confederate infantry and artillery in the pass blocking it so that the wagon train can go through. She then offers to guide them through the pass in order and around the Confederate force so that they can attack and observe them as well. One of the soldiers will lift her up and place her on his horse, and they will ride at the head of the column. And as they do so, they'll ride through this rain and darkness, and young Hetty will lead them to the Confederate rear of this column and actually allow the Union cavalry to possibly block the Confederates from getting to the Potomac. So that happens right in this area I'm at. Now, the Battle of Monterey Pass, again, July 4th through July 5th, 1863. On the morning of July 4th, 1863, Confederate General Robert E. Lee has ordered the retreat from Gettysburg of the Confederate Army. And General William Grumble Jones is going to volunteer to escort the wagon train through Monterey Pass, specifically General Ewell's wagon train. Now, the Confederates have picketed Monterey Pass. They have a company, Company B of the 1st Maryland Cavalry there under Captain George Emick, and they have one cannon, a Napoleon, under Captain William Tanner in the pass. Several miles away at Emmitsburg, Maryland, will be Union General Judson Kilpatrick's cavalry division. And they will consist of mainly Michigan cavalry and New York cavalry. You will have General George Custer involved in this. And as a matter of fact, we talked about one citizen helping the Union get around to the rear of the Confederates. Let's talk about another one. This citizen is Charles H. Berman. He's a local farmer. He's learned of the Confederate retreat, and he has also learned of the arrest of several soldiers. He will come upon none other than General George Custer's detachment near Fountaindale. When he does, he's going to let them know that the Confederates are in the pass and kind of what the strength is. As those Union troopers start to go up the mountain into Monterey Pass, they're going to be met by an onslaught of cannon fire. The first shot fires directly into the 5th Michigan, causing confusion. And over the next several hours, these forces are going to engage in some of the most confusing and chaotic fighting in the American Civil War. In some instances, the only way they can see is the cannon lighting up the area, or the illumination from the lightning of the storm. Now, the fighting will go back and forth, and the Confederates will try to hold their own. Judson Kilpatrick will be able to look at the different networks of roads, and he will send the 1st Vermont down to Leitersburg, Maryland, where they will actually attack a Confederate wagon and then also capture about 100 men. Now, the fighting has been raging all the way into the morning of July 5th. By 3 a.m., the fighting in the woods has been intense. Custer's cavalrymen have fought hard against the Confederates. And a portion of the 5th Michigan, backed up by the 1st West Virginia and a portion of the 1st Ohio, will move toward the Confederate position. The West Virginians will then charge the Confederate cannon here in Monterey Pass. As they do so, the cannon's actually going to tumble over the mountainside. They are then going to charge into the wagons. One soldier said it was like a pack of wild Indians. As these Union troopers come in, they are going to destroy as many wagons as possible, setting them on fire, turning them upside down. The confusion is so great, and the horses the teamsters have run away, so the horses are there kind of left to their own devices, and many of them will run off the cliffs to their death. Now, the Confederates will get some reinforcements in the form of the 1st North Carolina Battalion, sharpshooters, and the 6th Virginia Cavalry. They will be able to stop other wagons coming up into the pass near Fairfield Gap. Now, as the 6th has stopped the wagons from coming up through Fairfield Gap, they're going to take off. They're going to get out of here because they've been in this intense fight, and it looks bad for them. Captain Pennington is going to start shooting rounds into these sharpshooters from North Carolina and the 6th Virginia, but it's not going to wreak very much havoc. It's just going to be more of a mental game at that point, as they're not really going to sustain any casualties. General Alfred Iverson's North Carolina Brigade will arrive at dawn on July 5th, forcing General Kilpatrick to give up the fight. Just after daybreak, Confederate General Ambrose Wright's brigade will arrive from Fairfield, missing out on the fight at Monterey Pass. His soldiers will fight at Manassas Gap a few weeks later, although Wright will be under arrest for disagreements with his division commander. Now, the 1st Vermont destroyed several wagons and took a lot of prisoners when the regiment attacked the Confederate wagon train in Leitersburg. Again, about 100 men. Half the regiment moved onward toward Hagerstown, Maryland at that point. And while the other half ended up moving onward to Ringgold, which is not far, it's just down outside the pass here. What ends up happening is that will officially end the Battle of Monterey Pass. Over 100 Confederate casualties, over 100 Union casualties, and you've got little fights going on around at the exact same time. Several wagons burned. This is a demoralizing defeat for the Confederates here in Monterey Pass. They just suffered a massive defeat at Gettysburg. They're trying to get back to the safety of Virginia, and now they have suffered a massive defeat here at Monterey Pass. And I mean, just listen to this order of battle. The Union order of battle. Brigadier General Judson Kilpatrick is in command. He has his headquarters guard, which is the 1st Ohio Cavalry. Then he has Colonel Nathaniel P. Richmond of the 1st Brigade, consisting of the 5th New York, 18th Pennsylvania, 1st Vermont, and 1st West Virginia. General George A. Custer, 2nd Brigade. He has the 1st Michigan, 5th Michigan, 6th Michigan, and 7th Michigan, the Wolverines. General David Gregg, his 2nd Division of the Cavalry Corps. Colonel Pinnock Huey and his 2nd Brigade, consisting of the 2nd New York, 4th New York, 6th Ohio, and 8th Pennsylvania. And the assigned artillery to these units is Battery E of the 4th U.S. Artillery, Battery M of the 2nd U.S., and Battery C of the 3rd U.S. Artillery. That's just the Union. On the Confederate side, the forces are under command of William Grumble Jones. And under Jones, his brigade is the 6th Virginia and 11th Virginia. He also will have men from General Beverly Robertson's brigade, the 4th North Carolina Cavalry and 5th North Carolina Cavalry. And all of these units that I just mentioned for Jones there are cavalry units. 6th and 11th are Virginia Cavalry. He will also have General Albert Jenkins' brigade, the 36th Virginia Battalion, Cavalry Battalion. He'll have the Infantry Provost Guard, Colonel Isaac Avery, Hoke's Brigade. That's the 1st North Carolina Sharpshooters. Colonel Edward O'Neill's brigade, a detachment of Alabama infantry. He'll have General Alfred Iverson's brigade, the 5th, 12th, 20th, and 23rd North Carolina infantry. Then there will be about 50 Confederate stragglers who are under arrest here that I believe are going to be forced to fight by Jones. The artillery, Lieutenant Colonel H. Jones Battalion, which is the Courtney Henrico Artillery, and Major Beckham's Horse Artillery Battalion, which is Mormon's Battery and Chew's Battery. This is a really cool place. I mean, look at, you've got beautiful trails here. The last time I was here, there wasn't
all of this. So I'm really excited to hike more up through here. And there's some other signs around the park and things like that. It says about 2 hours to do the whole trail. But yeah, and they've got some cool names for the trail: Billy Yank Trail, Johnny Reb Trail. So pretty neat trails. But this is the beginning of the end of the Gettysburg campaign. After the Battle of Gettysburg, this is the first real fight here. There is a fight in Fairfield on July 3rd at the same time that the Confederates are attacking what's known as Pickett's Charge at that point. But this is the first big fight after the Battle of Gettysburg. And we'll have a few other little fights as they go. And the campaign will end July 23rd at Manassas Gap, just outside of Front Royal.